as we see the solicitors watchdog closing 3 legal firms that were basically caught out in a sting operation by a newspaper for basically charging clients for false asylum claims. They've been shut down by the Solicitors Regulation Authority, the boss of whom said she was surprised and shocked by the revelations. I don't know why she was shocked. This has been going on for decades. Tony Smith is the former head of the UK Border Force and joins us now. Good morning to you, Tony.
Morning, Julia.
Good morning. Were you remotely shocked that there were some law firms, just 3 of them been found so far, but who are we kidding? We know there are a lot more, basically playing along and helping and making huge amounts of money out of false asylum claims?
No.
I mean, ta-da!
Julia.
Where have these people been? That's what I wonder. I mean, we're looking at, I mean, they just basically invent stories. They've also banned a legal advisor. He told an undercover reporter he would invent stories of torture, death threats and modern slavery to win refugee status. We've all known this is going on.
Well, I'd like to congratulate the undercover reporters, actually, Julia, because, you know, they've exposed this. I'm not sure who would have done if they hadn't have done that. I don't think police would have done it. I'm not sure that the regulatory authorities would have done it. So congratulations to them. But it's not new. It happened a lot. There's a lot of it in my book. I wrote a lot about this, Julia. Yeah. When I was there, we put them out a bit. In fact, I think some of the operations we did back in the day led to the creation of the Office of the Immigration Services Commissioner, who was set up specifically to deal with this problem. But it's pretty clear that although there are a lot of reputable lawyers out there working in legal immigration, Julia, yeah, you know, let's not forget that. I'm sure they'll be very disappointed as well by this story, but there are a lot of people that are unscrupulous, that will put words in their mouth, they will concoct stories. And I think what sometimes makes me chuckle a little bit is that we quite often get criticised in the department, in the Home Office, having a culture of disbelief. Yeah. And, you know, we're useless at considering cases. We don't accept sometimes what people say. Well, look at the evidence, Julia. Look, there is clearly mischief going on. There is clearly abuse. People are seeking to take an advantage of getting asylum in this country by making up stories. And I hope, if nothing else, at least I hope this story does, you know, make people wake up to the fact that this is a very, very difficult industry. Yeah. And there are people out there that are making money and trying to exploit the system, in my view, unfairly, actually, and almost conspiring with their clients to defraud the Secretary of State. Yeah. And you know, so we need to
the taxpayer
system and give the Home Office a little bit of credit. I know you don't like doing that, but a little bit of credit. When you think your caseworkers and immigration cannot talk to you, Julia, that's why I come on here and talk to you. But they will be absolutely saying, look, this has been going on for a long time. There's nothing we can do about it. What can we do about it as civil servants? Nothing really. So we really need the regulatory authorities to step up to the plate and demonstrate in the public interest that they are doing something.
But this has been going on for so long. I can remember being on my local paper in the East End of London, starting out as a cub reporter and writing about sort of asylum claims and this whole sort of basically, you know, you could basically, you know, buy someone to have a fake marriage with you so you could be in the country. I mean, this was going on. I'm trying to think how many years ago that was, but, you know, 25, 30 years ago that was going on. We know this is going on. And you use the key word there. It is an industry.
Yeah, and whenever you set up an immigration system, whatever your politics are on this, there's always going to people who are going to try and circumvent it. Julia, in one way or another, we've had marriages of convenience, we've had fake asylum claims, we've had dodgy colleges. I've dealt with them all over the years, and I think it's not going to go away. But what we do need, I think, in this day and age, is to have a system where the public are satisfied that it's a fair system and that those cases that are adopting fraud are weeded out and not allowed to stay in this country under the guise of asylum and are removed from the territory.
But if someone just says, I've been tortured, I've been a victim of this and that, and you know, oh, let's just, OK, we'll have to take, you know, believe everybody, tick box. That's what's going to happen. Can I also ask you about this plan for housing 500 migrants, asylum seekers, on the Bibi Stockholm barge that was taken into Portland in Dorset? Asylum seekers are not going to be moved onto the barge today as had been planned after meetings responding to fire safety concerns. There's still a possibility it could happen later this week, but there are concerns that it could turn into another Grenfell Tower. Now, no one, I mean, I'm sorry, anyone who does think that is absolutely sick, thinking that you want people to be put at any risk. But we know that this barge has been used to house, you know, building workers and migrants in other countries as well. Why do we think this is a particular fire risk?
Well, we spoke about this sort of thing before again, Julia, and, you know, whenever the Home Office tries to do anything, we need to decant people out of hotels. I think everyone agrees that. It's costing us £6 million a day. soon as they start to do anything, there's huge amount of public scrutiny over when, where, how, and that's what's happened with the Bibby Stockholm. That's why it's not ready right now, is because once again we've had other watchdogs coming up. Well, wait a minute, have you got this? Have you got that covered? Have you got that base covered? And that's what the department are doing. And I can assure you, the department will do everything to ensure that health and safety standards are met on the Bibby Stockholm and in other centres where they're planning to move asylum seekers to. But we really need to get on with this, because we've got to stop using very, very expensive hotels at the public purse to house us.
Which, by the way, most people in Britain couldn't probably afford to stay in some of these 4-star. Tony Smith, former head of UK Border Force, thank you. Final word on all of this to Russell Quirk.
Yeah, I fear actually with the Bibby Stockholm that we're getting the inevitable lawyers involved there. Whether the Bibby Stockholm is occupied or whether those lawyers that are kind of at it on the as a kind of left-leaning fraternity, whether they're there or in the future, you're going to get lots and lots of legal action now on the basis of human rights, trying to prevent this kind of thing from happening. And that's the thing.
Again, and that's the human rights lawyers. Again, that's another industry
as
well.
It's a racket.
There are an awful lot of people making an awful lot of money. It's not just the people smugglers. Russell Quirk, always a pleasure to have your company. Thank you very much indeed.